Simultaneously, if I can systemically create structures to support students with racism in mind as an insight into larger forms of oppression that exist across different demographics, right? And I can leverage what's happening in the brain of my student, all of a sudden I can make policies in my own classes that address many of the learning needs, both intrapersonal within the mind of my own student and interpersonal within the social constructs that the student navigates on a day-to-day basis. And I can do it regardless of whether or not my administrators and my state funding mechanisms are on board. I can do it with a big, fat hand gesture that allows me to, you know, me, meaning us, you guys too, right? To engage with our classes and engage with our students where they are at the time that we meet them. While, you know, the learning code is, you know, not only change, we haven't even talked about the changes that need to happen in the individual classes. You guys have both experienced that as you went through my class, right? And I'm way better now than when we first met each other. But the learning code is assuming that you don't have a professor that's going to do this for you. What are some of the shields you can use against this really what I would call underdeveloped? That's a very generous way to say this. Underdeveloped pedagogy that is actively harmful for students. And the invitation to you two, when we're working on this project, is to get as educated as possible in these fields so that when you go to make your own approaches, when you become policy, right? Because you will become policy, you will become the same policies that Paul Tough is critiquing in that. The moment that you become teachers, you will be enacting policies on students. And my claim is this opportunity, you guys will be training yourself in ways that are not currently available. I am bleeding portions of my career to make this a fact, right? And I would donate this blood once a week at least, right? So that when you become policy, you can actually leverage that. And I love Henry's, you know, this is where I can hear Catherine Lee's voice. And also, you know, when we build a movement is when systems change. And that is super hard, but movements start with people. Movements start individually. And I think so much of the system change, if you wanted my individual opinion, I would say, let them die. I don't mean actively help them die. I mean, many of these people are 30 and above, right? Most of them, maybe even 40 and above or 50 and above. So let's not waste extra time on that generation trying to convince them to change themselves. That's something that they have to decide for themselves. Instead, let's find ways to find the next generation that has not yet become policy and has a sponge mind, just like you guys have, right? And let's find ways to empower those people and show them a better algorithm so that when they get into positions of power, the next generation retires, passes away, has no more influence on the day-to-day. You know, they have influence on the past, but not the present, right? And when that next generation assumes power, hopefully a small subset of those people will have access to a much stronger system upon which to build those decisions. And that's, I think the learning code can fill in there. It is existence and maybe uniqueness, right?